Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the video review of MP-34 Cheetor. This guy just arrived from HobbyLink Japan and is currently available in stock at BigBadToyStore.com. The figure comes in cheetah mode, and I have already transformed it once and then gotten it back into cheetah mode, so please forgive anything that isn't sticking together quite right. That's all my fault. The overall look of the cheetah mode is pretty good. You do have a little bit of kibble from the robot mode here on the back legs, and you do have a little bit of robot bits sticking out here in the center. Tail is fully posable. I have not figured out how to actually latch the center of the cheetah correctly, so there is a little bit of wiggle. There was no wiggle when I got him out of the packaging. His head is posable. It is on a stalk of sorts. Front arms are posable and shoulders do move for the transformation. Rear legs are posable but are much tighter than the front due to the, transformation into robot mode. The overall Beast mode is pretty good, though I think Primal's works better. This one holds together pretty well, but as you can see, it does have a little bit of an issue standing up sometimes, and there's not a whole lot you could do to pose it because you kind of can't pose it in a lot of different poses. I would love to have it where it was sitting down, but I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. The gimmick in cheetah mode is that he comes with not one, but 3 heads. This is the default head, or what I like to call the stoned head. Mouth does open, and yes, those teeth, very, very sharp. You can pull the head off, and as I said earlier, it is on the stalk, which has back and forth movement. So the next face we will go with is the sly face. So there's that. I think it works. But my favorite head is the surprise head, which is ah or ah. In cheetah mode, the figure does have a tendency to come unposed very easily. That's not saying that any of the joints are loose, just things have a tendency to come apart because of all the paneling, specifically up here along the top shoulders and here around the butt or the tail. And that's because this entire tail section is a weapon. So we're going to go ahead and get into the transformation. The first thing we're going to do is come to the sides here and kind of unpeg these bits in the inner flanks, pull off the tail, and this whole section will put off to the side. Then come underneath the figure towards the abdomen and unpeg the gut. I'm serious. This looks like a Beast Wars-esque belly or stomach and intestines. He literally has an intestine cannon. Okay, so put those off to the side. And this is what we are left with, is a cheetah that looks like it's had some bits cut off. To start off with the transformation of the tail, this is actually very easy. First, grab the sections and fold them back, flip them all the way around, and then bend them in so that these little tabs peg into the tab holes. Like that, and then grab these sections here and slide them up underneath the flaps. There's a little button here. Push that down as hard as you can to get the handle of the gun to come down along with the gun barrel. Fold the gun barrel down, turn it 360 degrees. Be very careful when you do this because it could break. Flip the gun up and push the handle down. And then flip the tail under, and there are 2 slots, one for the handle and one for the underneath of the barrel. Oops, gotta get that lined up. Get that pegged into place. And there is the first gun. Now the figure will actually hold it on the handle here, not back here in the tail as I originally thought it was going to. Next up is the gut cannon. And this is actually pretty difficult. You have to grab this section here, this gold section going across the top to open it up, and I can't do it with my fingers. I have to use my teeth. I'm not even kidding. I have to use my teeth in order to get that opened up. So open that up, flip out the barrel, then close it, and grab this little blue piece, flip that up for the handle, and here is the original Beast Wars Cheetor gun. Having both guns be a nod to the original figure is fantastic, and to the original show. I think the show I think these work really well representing the way they looked in the show. I remember Cheetor using this gun more than this gun, though, but I know he did use this one. Still, I like both of them. Now, the actual cheetah transformation is pretty complex. It's not hard, though. It's just complex, and there are a lot of steps. So we're going to start with the feet. And I will warn you, this is like every other Cheetor figure ever made. You straighten out the legs and fiddle with them a little bit, and then you fiddle with the top, or the front of the beast mode. So same as always. Take the legs, simply straighten them out first, like so. Grab this flap that's on the back of the figure, pull it up, push it down into what will be the robot hips, and fold it down like so. Then we're going to come to what will be the feet. First, reach to what would be the back of the thigh and push it in just a little bit so we could flip up the kneecaps. And we could do that on both sides, like so. It does require a little bit of force to flip them up. We can fold up the cheetah feet and push them up, but I choose not to. I just leave them straight out and fold them up against the legs like that. Reach into this blue section and flip out the heels on both legs like that. Take the foot, fold it up, pull it down until it snaps into place, and then just at the mid shin, we can fold in this last spike. So we'll do that on the other one. Fold the foot up, flip the entire ankle section down, snap it into place, and fold in the shin section. And that's it for the legs. Now the torso is a bit more complicated, as you can see. So to start off with, we're going to take the cheetah shoulders and fold them back, just like the original Beast Wars figure. Just like it. And I like to just kind of get the shoulders back as far as I can. Then we come to the top of the back, split it open, folding it down to reveal the shoulders of the robot mode and the arms. So then we can flip the arm out, and then there's this little blue section where the shoulder is. You want to peg that in here. Fold the arm up, and then turn the whole section around so that the screw hole, which is pointing towards the top of the cheetah mode, is now pointing towards the back of the figure. And then rotate the shoulder down, being very careful, because if you're not, that little blue tab is going to come unpegged, and it's just a pain to deal with. So we'll do it again here on the other side. Fold the arm out, or the shoulder out from the cheetah body, flip it up and peg it into place, rotate the arm up along that same axis, and then flip the shoulder out, sliding the arm back down along that axis. And see, I did it there. So we just have to kind of fiddle with it until we could get it to stay in place. And then bring the arms down like so. And you see, it's still not staying in place. And that's probably my biggest complaint of the figure right here. This little tab does not want to stay tabbed in, and it's specifically on the left shoulder. So we'll fiddle with that later. Then come to the panels that are on the forearms, and they will flip down and away and back a little bit, and they will peg into place. All right, we are actually almost done. So we'll come to the back where the shoulders are and fold them so that the gold part on the inner shoulders, for the cheetah shoulders that is pointing out above the robot mode shoulders. And then we could come to the back and just fiddle with it enough to get these legs pegged together. And they don't have to be super tight. Just make sure that they're pegged together and that the gold parts are pointing above. And I will fix this a little bit later, because next we want to come to the robot head. So for the robot head, grab the cheetah head, fold it down into the chest of the cheetah, grab Cheetor's head, flip it up, and pop it off the ball joint. The popping it off the ball joint is not what I meant to do, if you didn't guess that already. So then take the entire head section, turn it 180 degrees, so that you have this now cheetah monstrosity ready for battle. And then this is where it gets actually a little bit tricky. There is a piece of plastic right here that forms the chest just underneath the cheetah head. There's a hinge and another hinge. So what we want to do is fold these hinges in on themselves, which actually is a little bit harder to do than you might think. Because one, the hinge is very tight, and two, you just kind of have to manhandle it a little bit to get that cheetah head in there. And then we take this blue section, flip it forward, and we can collapse the entire cheetah body down and snap it into place. And then this little blue section that we just folded down, we could flip, or fold it out, we could flip back down. And there's a little peg hole underneath the neck of the robot mode, and we could peg that into place. And that's it. That is the transformation. As I said, not hard, but definitely complex. The robot mode we end up with is really nice. I mean, really, really nice. It's incredibly well detailed. It feels pretty good. Overall, it's just a very good rendition of Cheetor, the original Cheetor. The head sculpt is just about perfect. I can't think of anything to change. And overall, it's a very nice looking figure. It does have some junk in the back, which I'll be honest, I've never really, for the several hours that I've had the figure, I haven't quite figured out the best way to get the legs to pose. That's just a failing on my part, but that's really the only kibble that you have to deal with that's out of the ordinary. Overall, it's a very, very good looking figure, but I am terribly worried about gold plastic syndrome. This figure feels like it's going to have GPS. It really, really does. And I'm just worried about that. The figure can hold the guns, though not easily. These hands don't open nearly far enough to get the guns in easily, and the tabs don't work so well. There are little tab slots inside of each palms. You can have him wield the guns, but I don't think it works all that well. And you can also have him wield the gun or hold the guns on his back. So you can get him to hold it. It just doesn't hold them that well. Though once you do get it posed correctly, it does look good. So here we have the guns being stored. The gut gun is held on his shoulders, while the tail gun is connected to his butt. The figure ships with 2 other faces for robot mode as well. I think they're okay. I kind of just like the default one myself. Cheetor sports some very nice light piping. Cheetor has some decent posability on him. Head is on a swivel and can move up and down a little bit. Shoulders are on hinges and swivels and double elbows. Hands do articulate a little bit, but the armor here gets in the way. He does have torso articulation, though you do have to be a little bit careful. Double hinge in the hip, which is nice and tight. Swivel at the thigh, knee articulation, all tight. I think my feet are actually reversed because there's outward ankle articulation. I would have figured it would have spun inward like an ankle. And then he's got toe articulation on both feet. So, as I said, very posable figure. Overall, I think Cheetor is a fine figure. I would prefer Optimus Primal, but I think Cheetor is perfectly fine. I did outline my concerns, specifically the legs in the back, the oddities in vehicle mode, in beast mode, and the fear of gold plastic syndrome. Otherwise, though, it's pretty darn good. I've got to give Takara a heck of a lot of credit. They've designed a really good figure. I just am wondering if they assembled the ankles wrong on my figure. Other than that, there aren't any outstanding issues. It's perfectly well constructed. It feels good in the hand. I just have longevity issues. So gang, thank you for watching this video review of MP-34 Cheetor. As always, I'm Baltmatrix. Thanks for your like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a sub if you loved it. And I will catch you next time.